I got a lot of fond memories in this truck. Unfortunately, the reason it's out here is because I couldn't bring myself to scrap it because of the memories, and it's just too far gone to ever try and restore or put back on the road or, you know, whatever.
Matt Stetar is showing the internet what real work looks like, and it's leaving Vice VIP Garage in the dust. While YouTube keeps feeding us fast fixes and slick edits, this channel is quietly setting a new standard that makes everyone else furious. Is this the end of entertainment restoration content? We will finally put an end to the discussion of what YouTube channel is better. The answer and the reasons behind it will blow your mind. The bigger machine behind the camera. This isn't just about wrenches, engines, or old trucks being fired up in the middle of nowhere. It's about something far more powerful. Who's building a legacy and who's just building an episode? For years, YouTube has been flooded with content creators resurrecting the forgotten and dragging rusted machines back from the grave. But two names rise above the rest: Matt Stetar from Diesel Creek and Bieri from Vice Grip Garage. And while both have carved a place in the restoration world, only one is quietly reshaping what this genre could and should be. Before we dig deeper, it becomes painfully clear that one of these creators is hiding a truth far more impactful than views or engines. And this won't be the only thing that will change how you see them.
These Kragers have a shank-style lug nut and washer to hold the wheels on. So if we were to blow a tire, try to use a steel wheel, you'd have to carry around lug nuts. We're not doing any of that.
Bieri is entertaining. That's not up for debate. With a voice full of wit and a camera that moves like a sitcom, Vice Grip Garage thrives on excitement, improvisation, and a little roadside chaos. But behind the fast edits and comedic one-liners, something's missing. Wait, what starts as adrenaline often ends without depth. You might laugh, you might cheer, but once the credits roll, there's little left behind. Matt Stetar does it differently. His channel, Diesel Creek, isn't built on gimmicks, it's built on grit. Instead of quick wins and running engines, Matt shows us something most channels avoid: the whole truth. Every rusted bolt, every broken fitting, every project that takes weeks, not minutes. And that's exactly why Diesel Creek isn't just a better channel, it's a better blueprint. Let's start with scale. Derek digs into classic cars, often parked in barns, leaning into nostalgia and Americana. He makes them run, maybe even drives them home. And then, that's it. The car gets tucked away. A new project begins. Rinse, repeat. The stakes are low and the reward is fleeting. Vice Grip Garage is built for speed, and that's the problem. It never slows down long enough to build something that lasts. Now contrast that with Matt's world.
Without that thing turning, there's no way to get the engine to make a revolution or even think about starting, because even if I could independently turn the engine by removing the gear that connects the blower to the rest of the valve train and everything.
He doesn't just fix things. He reclaims land. He revives entire work sites. When Matt brings an old excavator or dump truck back to life, it's not for show. It's for function. The machines don't roll off into storage. They go to work. Every fix has purpose. Every restoration changes the land itself. Diesel Creek doesn't end with a fade to black. It ends with a new beginning. And let's not ignore the tone. Vice Grip Garage is loud, punchy, and quick. It's YouTube entertainment. Clever, colorful, easy to binge. But like any formula that leans too hard on personality, it wears thin. Derek's editing chops are strong. The pacing is sharp. But somewhere along the line, the substance thins out. Critical steps in builds are skipped. The how and why often disappear under jokes and jump cuts. It's a mechanic comedy show with heart, but not always a brain. Diesel Creek, it's quiet, patient, and brutally honest. Matt doesn't hide the ugly moments. He lets the camera roll through failure. The engine that won't turn over, the project that drags on for days, the hydraulic line that bursts at the worst possible time. And instead of cutting those parts out, he keeps them in because they matter. They teach. They show what this life actually looks like when the cameras aren't rolling. That's not just real, that's rare. Then we come to editing, and this is where Diesel Creek pulls away entirely. Derek's videos are designed for pace, for energy, for laughs. And yes, that works, but it also means complexity is often sacrificed for punch. When Derek revives a car, we get snippets of process, but rarely the full roadmap. We don't know why a fix worked, only that it did. And that's fine if your goal is to entertain. Matt's editing is surgical. It's long form without being bloated. He gives space for silence, for thought, for every little decision to breathe. You watch him diagnose problems in real time. You see the troubleshooting, the problem solving, the setbacks. That transparency is where real knowledge lives. You don't just see a solution, you see how to get there. And if you're paying attention, you leave smarter. Let's go even deeper, to the core of their content value. Because while Derek is fun to watch, Matt teaches you something, and not just how to fix a skidder or repair an old loader. He teaches persistence, discipline, resourcefulness. He shows that big machines and big problems can be tackled slowly, methodically, and without shortcuts. That's not just a better video, that's a better philosophy. Derek gives you the rush, Matt gives you the result. The silent blueprint beneath the noise. This isn't just a tale of two channels. It's a contrast between two philosophies, between spectacle and substance, between what grabs your attention and what actually holds it. On the surface, both Diesel Creek and Vice Grip Garage offer rusty steel and roaring engines. But scratch that surface, and you'll find one is stacking bricks into something lasting, while the other is sketching in chalk on pavement that washes away after the rain. Let's talk about permanence. One of the most striking things about the Diesel Creek approach is that every project connects to the last. Every broken excavator, every seized dozer, every weather-beaten dump truck isn't just a video. They're building blocks in a larger system. The machines being rescued serve each other. A loader fixed in one episode becomes the tool that helps move material in the next. You're not just watching repairs, you're watching a slow, deliberate expansion of capability, of utility, of independence. That kind of continuity changes the entire feel of the channel. It's not episodic, it's not disposable. It's a documentary unfolding in real time, and the deeper you watch, the more invested you become. You remember that machine from 4 months ago? You remember the problem that took a week to solve, and when it reappears, running smooth and pulling weight, it matters. There's memory there. There's growth. Diesel Creek isn't just showing progress, it's living it. Meanwhile, over at Vice Grip Garage, permanence is elusive.
The wheels are never centered in the center of the wheel well on any Mopar I've ever owned in my life.
Well, we're to the point of no return now.
Great.
Derek finds a car, makes it run, maybe drives it around, and then moves on. There's rarely a return, rarely an update. The vehicles feel more like props than tools. They exist for the moment, for the video, and then disappear. And that's not inherently wrong, but it means the audience never sees what comes next. The restoration is the end, not the beginning. The impact fades as quickly as the engine starts. That contrast matters more than it seems, because storytelling isn't just about what happens, it's about why it matters. Diesel Creek gives you the after. Derek rarely does, and over time, that adds up. One channel leaves you wondering what became of the last project. The other leaves you watching it move Earth in the very next frame. Let's turn to another crucial element, education. In the world of mechanical YouTube, teaching matters. People don't just want to watch, they want to learn. They want to understand, to try. And here again, Diesel Creek leads. Its creator doesn't just narrate, he explains. He walks you through every step, whether he's swapping hydraulic hoses, diagnosing electrical issues, or wrestling with ancient machinery that hasn't moved in decades. And he does it with zero ego. No frills, no flash, just calm, methodical teaching, built for people who want to do more than spectate. Vice Grip Garage, it dips into education, but it never lives there. Derek's videos are light on detail, heavy on humor. You'll see a starter replaced, a carburetor cleaned, maybe a transmission swapped, but the why and how get skipped or glossed over with jokes. It's restoration as a ride-along, not as a lesson. That makes it fun, but it also means it's rarely useful. Let's go deeper. Audience experience. Diesel Creek respects time, it gives space, it doesn't rush the process. If something takes 2 days, it shows it. Not every second, but enough that you feel the reality of the work. That patience builds immersion. You're not just watching a repair, you're in it, feeling the same frustration, the same satisfaction.
All right, we got our our Drill Doctor fast flow fuel system here. Oh, I can whistle through it now.
You understand that this isn't magic, it's just work, and that's empowering. Derek, by contrast, compresses time. His edits are rapid fire, his narration non-stop. You're moving from discovery to startup in record time. It feels good, but also impossible, like watching a highlight reel with no middle. And for someone hoping to learn, that style leaves gaps, critical gaps. It's restoration without process. And over time, that disconnect adds up. You remember the jokes, but forget the method. Then there's the visual weight. Diesel Creek looks better. Period. The scale of its projects demands wide shots, clean angles, and careful composition. And that's what you get. You see the full frame of a dozer being lifted. You feel the weight of the machine. You see the land it's shaping. It's cinematic without trying to be. The visuals support the message. This is serious work, real work, and the results matter. Vice Grip Garage, by contrast, feels handheld. It's cramped. It's chaotic. The cameras bounce, the lighting shifts, the audio varies. It's not bad, it's personal, but it lacks clarity, especially when you're under the hood of something complex. The viewer spends more time chasing the camera than studying the fix. And while that lends a certain charm, it also limits comprehension. You laugh, but you don't always see. Let's talk about emotion, because yes, even in grease and diesel, it matters. These videos carry weight. You see frustration, failure, victory that comes slow. There's no shouting, not many jokes. But when a machine finally fires to life, it feels earned. That kind of authenticity sticks. It inspires. Because once the joke ends, there's not much left. The meaning buried beneath the metal. This is where it stops being about machines and starts being about people. Because when all the oil's wiped away and the cameras stop rolling, what matters most is the effect, the impact left behind when a video ends. Both the man behind Diesel Creek and Derek Bieri have fans. Both get views, but only one leaves viewers with something heavier than entertainment: purpose, direction, proof that effort, no matter how slow or muddy, builds something that matters. He doesn't chase content, he chases progress. His machines aren't trophies, they're tools. And the land he works, it's more than a backdrop, it's a canvas. Every haul of gravel, every uprooted stump, every inch of clean land serves a mission greater than the video. He is building infrastructure, permanence, a self-sustaining world of his own design. His homestead is alive and growing, and every project adds a new layer to it. That kind of continuity pulls the audience in deeper than most channels ever will. Viewers don't just tune in to see what's fixed. They watch to see what's evolving, what's expanding. It's not just curiosity, it's investment. They remember which machine helped where. They connect the dots across episodes. They aren't just fans of the work, they're part of the work's story. That sense of forward momentum turns casual watchers into dedicated followers. Now contrast that with Vice Grip Garage. Derek's content lives for the thrill of the resurrection. It's about the rush of turning the key, the cheers when a long-dead car coughs back to life. But the story stops there. The arc ends when the engine fires. There's no long game. The vehicles don't tie into a bigger plan. The past is resurrected and then quickly forgotten. You get a spark, not a flame, a moment, not a message. And that difference becomes massive over time. The Diesel Creek channel becomes a library, a working record of resilience and progress. Derek's becomes a scrapbook, fun, nostalgic, but without anchors, without weight. The episodes entertain. They make you laugh, but they rarely make you think, or better yet, act. With Diesel Creek, that's the default.
Of machines and projects and things that I'm working on. I started this last year. I just did a video walking around and checking out every single piece of machinery that we had here on the property, and we're going to do the same thing this year. You might be thinking, oh, well, I'm going to see the same stuff over again.
It doesn't ask for your applause. It demands your reflection. It shows you what's possible if you just keep showing up. Let's go deeper into emotional weight. Restoration isn't easy. Machines fail, parts break, days are lost. But most creators skip those parts or hide them behind upbeat music and fast edits. He doesn't. He shows every busted knuckle, every wrong turn. You feel the fatigue in his voice, the frustration in his eyes, but you also feel the stubbornness, the refusal to quit. That kind of honesty cuts deeper than a joke ever could. And when something finally works, when an engine roars or a track spins, it doesn't feel like content. It feels like triumph. You've earned it too, because you've been through the setbacks, the silence, the slow crawl through each problem. It's not just restoration, it's redemption, and that feeling sticks. Derek, to his credit, brings optimism. There's always a smile, always a punchline. His brand is resilience coated in humor, and it works for the right mood. But when the job gets ugly, when you really need to see what a hard fix looks like, Vice Grip Garage often sidesteps it. The story leans on jokes, not the grind. And in those moments, the difference between documenting and performing becomes obvious. Let's talk influence. This is where the Diesel Creek creator quietly wins the long game. His channel inspires action. People don't just watch, they start. They grab a wrench. They dig into a broken part. They try something big, messy, and hard because they saw it happen on that channel. That kind of motivation is rare and powerful. He's not just showing machines come back to life. He's showing people they can do the same. Derek makes viewers laugh. He makes them move. Even more powerful is the emotional thread that runs through Diesel Creek's timeline. It's subtle, but constant. He's alone in a field, in a barn, in the cold. He's not surrounded by a crew. There's no dramatic music pushing the scene forward, just the sound of wind, or rain, or machines trying, again, to turn over. That kind of solitude resonates. It reminds people what effort looks like when no one's cheering. Vice Grip Garage is rarely quiet. It's filled with voiceovers, commentary, punchlines. The silence is edited out. The tension is lightened. It's easier to watch, but also easier to forget. Because when everything's a show, nothing feels real. The legacy that outlasts the machine. At some point, it stops being about the fix. It stops being about the roar of an engine or the hum of a hydraulic pump. It becomes about what's left behind. What stays with you after the video ends. After the last bolt is tightened and the machine rolls away. In that final equation, legacy, substance, influence, Diesel Creek doesn't just win. It towers. Because Matt Stetar isn't making a YouTube channel. He's building something far more rare. A blueprint. Not just for restoring machines, but for restoring belief in the long road. The hard fix. The purpose-driven grind that most of the internet skips over in favor of faster hits and bigger headlines. That kind of work doesn't go viral overnight. It doesn't chase the algorithm. It just endures. Derek Bieri built a brand. That's undeniable. Vice Grip Garage is instantly recognizable, full of personality, charm, and a sense of mischief that makes it fun to watch. It has a rhythm, a pulse, but that rhythm rarely changes. The format is clear. Find a car, get it running, drive it home. The story resets each time. It never truly builds. And the lessons, if there are any, tend to ride shotgun to the entertainment. Matt doesn't hit reset. He hits repeat. He hits refine. Each project isn't a standalone episode. It's a chapter in a larger book. The machines have names. The land has history. The goals keep growing. Every fix sets the stage for the next. And that creates something viewers don't just watch, they believe in. Because Matt's not chasing views, he's chasing vision. And that changes everything. Skill is another divide that only grows with time. Matt's technical depth isn't flashy, but it's deep. He works across systems, electrical, hydraulic, diesel, structural, and shows his process without shortcuts. You see the mistakes, the restarts, the diagnosis that didn't work the first time. And that transparency, it builds trust. Not the shallow kind that comes from polished edits and sponsor deals. The real kind that only happens when someone's willing to show failure and keep filming anyway.
Okay, the last thing I have to run is a piece of 2-wire here. This is I think 8 or 10 gauge, whatever. This is just going to be for my trailer connection. One's going to be power from the brake unit.
Derek, on the other hand, simplifies. He skips steps or masks them with humor. It makes for smoother content, more digestible. But over time, the cost becomes clear. The audience may smile, but they don't grow. They don't learn enough to act. The takeaway is amusement, not ability. And that's where influence splits down the middle. Matt empowers. He gives his viewers a tool set, not just for engines and equipment, but for life, persistence, problem solving. The idea that you don't need the newest tool, the fanciest garage, or a background in mechanics to make real progress. You just need time, focus, and a refusal to give up. That message hits harder than any engine note ever could. Derek entertains. He's easy to like, easy to root for. But at the end of the day, Vice Grip Garage is designed to be watched, not followed, not replicated, just consumed. Its content, well-crafted, but contained. Matt creates something else, a mirror. His channel reflects what most people forget, that big things are built slowly, that lasting work is ugly, hard, and unrewarded for long stretches, but that, in the end, it matters. It becomes something, and that's why Diesel Creek is more than a better show. It's a better message. Is Diesel Creek quietly setting the new standard for what restoration content should be? And are we finally ready to trade entertainment for something that actually lasts? Tell us what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.